Hey, everybody. Welcome to the West Dakota Dad. My name is Cody. This is my podcast where we talk about faith, family, and life. And this is 30. So this past weekend, I finally hit that marker, the big 3-0. And now I have left my 20s completely in the dust. I've completed my third decade on this planet. Now, I don't consider 30 old by any means. Maybe when I was like 10, I would have thought, oof, 30, that's getting up there. But no, I don't feel old. But I don't feel old. But there are some certain things that I realize that I do now and find enjoyment in that I would not have even just 10 years ago. And it all started the other day. I was sitting in the break room at work, and I started bringing a novel along to read on my breaks rather than look at my phone, just because of all the negativity that goes on, and just trying to stay away from the screen time a little bit. So I read a novel, and I've been reading the Longmire series, and I had already watched the whole series on Netflix, so I kind of have a visual of what the characters should look like. And even though I know the books were written well before the TV show came out and everything, but I knew the personality of the characters. And as I was reading the book, I came across a part where there was some clever and wit in the book, and I legitimately laughed out loud, like belly laughed, like, and people started turning around. They're like looking at me like, what the heck? And then I started to think, I was like, man, I am so lame. But I'm going to take full pride in it because I really enjoy reading now. And, but it started to make me think, what other things do I do now that I probably would have found back in middle school, high school, as something that was just plain lame. Like that's like what old people do, you know? So I had to comprise a list. And so I had to put it to the test. I grabbed a test group of surveyors found on my Wednesday night confirmation. I am a mentor for confirmation at our church, and so on Wednesday nights I have 5 7th grade boys that we kind of do some discussion and go over the topic at hand, and it's a lot of fun. So once we had a little bit of time at the end after we covered our material, I had to start asking them things they thought were cool, thumbs up, and things they thought were lame. I think my other failure to this was I asked if they still use the terms cool and lame, and then I felt like I was even more lame for saying that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so here kind of was the result. These are the questions I had. I'll just kind of go through them. I didn't get all of them answered, which was unfortunate. But I started off with reading, cool or lame. And I got an astounding thumbs down from the 5 guys. One of them did stick up for me. He said, as long as it's nonfiction, or as long as it's fiction, then it's all right. But I told him I also read nonfiction novels, and he didn't like that. So next was going for walks. That was kind of split down the middle. Going for drives. Apparently 7th grade boys love going for drives, so that's cool. I said having a completely stock vehicle, as in no bells and whistles, no accessories, no aftermarket stuff. And they all like that as well. I was like, wow, all right on. But then again, I think at that age, if I just had something that could take me from point A to point B, I was pretty stoked. Let's see here. What else do I have? Wearing a vest. I got 1 positive for that. First, it was asked because a lot of these guys are hunters, so they're like, well, is it for hunting? I said, no, this is for style. Yeah, that was a resounding no after that. And then they kind of thought, like, well, maybe. Let's see. I said getting up early, as in between 6 and 7 on the weekends. basically getting up before everybody else. And some thought that that was pretty cool, and others are like, nah. But I'm pretty sure that if they had to, without having any reason to, they would have thought it was pretty lame. Let's see here. Admiring nice lawns, not so much. Talk radio or podcasts. Let's see, which one was that? 8. Yep, that was a resounding no. Searching or getting a deal on something, they were for that. Shopping for furniture, and this is quote unquote, well, as long as it's something cool, but not like a rocking chair or something. I don't know, a lazy boy that rocks is pretty awesome in my book. Let's see. Going to Menards, 11. That was kind of split down the middle. Doing a budget. I don't know if they truly knew what I meant by doing a budget because they all thought that was pretty cool. Drinking black coffee, solid thumbs down. I bet you some people today still would say that's pretty lame. Same with the budget. Home renovation, some didn't really ever try that, and some liked it. Going to bed early between 8:30 and 9:30, that was split down the middle. Apparently we got some guys that really like to sleep. Going to the library, resounding no. Garage sailing, kind of split down the middle. I didn't get to the last 3, which was kind of a bummer. One was stretching before and after physical activity. I mean, I don't want to hurt myself. Let's see, what's another one? Using your flat sheet, like your bed sheets. I mean, when I was in middle school, it was the sheet and a comforter at best. That middle sheet, no. But now it's like, I got to have that middle sheet. And then lastly, doing laundry, which that I know is very controversial. So I wish I would have got those answered. My overall score, though, I was a 49% cool person. But the majority would say I was lame. And it's funny because when I first did this, I only had 3 of my guys, and I didn't get through all the questions. And it was 65% cool, 35% lame. So the studies have shown that if I expand the test group, that the results are not in my favor. So I should have just stopped while I was ahead. But yeah, so turning 30, or I am 30 now. I guess when I was recording this, I was still 29. So it's like my ghostly image of 29 is still in front of you. But in reality, as you're watching this, I am 30 years old. So last thing I wanted to do with this episode is share with you what my favorite Bible verse has been for as long as I can remember. And I'll tell you why I liked it at first, and then I'll kind of tell you how my attitude towards it has kind of shifted. But it is Isaiah 40:30 through 31, and it says, "Even the youth will faint and be weary, the young will be..." Let me start this over here. Starting with verse 30. "Even youths will be faint and be weary. The young will fall exhausted. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint." For being my favorite verse, I really stumbled with that. However, I will have to say, I'm reading out of a different version of the Bible, so it's slightly different from what I remember, or have memorized, I should say. But yeah, I even have, you can kind of see, I have soar on wings like eagles. That's the version I know, Isaiah 40:31. But I used to like it because the first time I had ever seen an eagle was at my dad's place in Piedmont, South Dakota. I was in the front yard, and this big bird had flown down, and it was kind of foggy, and it had flown down and landed on the fence post within probably 30 feet in front of me. Actually, no, probably about 15 yards, which would, yeah, it's a little bit further than 30 feet. But I just remember sitting there just kind of awestruck in the intensity from that eagle looking at me with those eyes. I just froze, and it seemed like an hour had went by of just staring at this eagle, and it's staring back at me, but it's probably only like 15 seconds or so. And then it got up and started flying across the interstate to the other side, and I could watch it, and I seen exactly what tree it flew into, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And shortly after that, I had realized that my mom used to keep a baby picture up on the wall of me, and it had this little card that had my name on it, and then it had that Bible verse below it, and I just like, okay, things are clicking. That's pretty cool, and just kind of gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. But now, as I'm getting a little bit more educated on things, now it is kind of with this context here. I have some context. It says, God knows everything and understands our pain. There is nothing he doesn't know. But the evil things still happen in the world, and our process of spiritual growth will take time and suffer some setbacks. We may get tired of trying to do what is right and want to give up and go back to old habits. If we endure and keep faith in God, he will renew our strength so that we can continue on. And that is one of the main reasons why it's my favorite verse now. It's just every time I'm down and just feel like giving up, I remember that verse, I give a little prayer, and it renews my strength. So that is what I had for you guys today. Again, I'm another year older, another year wiser, and another year happier. So I hope you guys are staying safe out there, staying warm, and thank you for listening again. Thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes that everyone has given me. And until next time, I'm the West Dakota Dad. Thanks for listening to the West Dakota Dad podcast. If you like what you heard, please drop a rating, share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content.